Tell us, eat me out, Eatman. Tell us, eat me out, Eatman. Anticipation and some rock hard meat. Tell us, eat me out, Eatman. Tell us, eat me out, Eatman. Right.
I like it.
Well,
I think
there
I
you
like
go.
that one better than last week's.
Well, you know what? It's peppy, it's fun, and we are just trying to celebrate the man who brings us content every single week relentlessly. Nick Eatman, we appreciate you.
There he is looking like Deadpool again.
You
You got to update that photo. No, the photo's not bad. I know he doesn't look like that. It's just the resolution on the photos.
I know. Well, because they make it so small for this, so
Yeah.
it loads quicker. But then you use a big ass fucking nice, beautiful photo like this. I mean, come on.
You got Mike Evans, CD Lamb,
Ooh.
squaring off.
That's going to be a nice competition. CeeDee Lamb quietly having one of,
He's third in receiving yards.
and he definitely is playing unremarkably.
And it's
for CeeDee Lamb.
It's crazy because we'd be like, I got give all the props to CD Lamb out there fucking battling. I'm so proud of him putting his body on the line.
Each and every day.
It's still real to me, damn it.
All right.
Buccaneers. Okay, is Eat Me Out? Has he switched the way he's done it?
Eat me out,
Yeah.
eat me out.
I don't think he's
I
going
don't know. No, I think he's
not
dropped the
going
numbers.
no point for him or numbers, whatever it was before.
You know why? Because some stupid fucking little analytics intern came in and said, you know, it's better if you don't
Point
put
form doesn't
numbers."
help your search engine rankings, but this whole part right here is just kind of a preface to
I know.
his actual storyline.
I was
right?
holding off. Are you going to go into the
I'll
first
do
one?
the first one.
Okay. Now it's paragraphs.
Yeah. The Bucs are at the point of their roller coaster season.
Hey, you're not allowed to use that term, Nick. Only the Cowboys are having a roller coaster season. I'm already tired of this guy.
And let the man speak. Let the man speak.
The Bucs are at the point of their roller coaster season that is at the top, and they certainly want to stay there for a while. Tampa Bay has won 4 straight games, sitting at first place in the NFC South at 8-6. The Bucs have defeated the Lions and Eagles earlier in the year before a slide that had them far outside the playoff picture.
Playoffs.
Now they're trying to stay in the position to host a playoff game as a division winner.
It's hard to win 5 in a row. It is hard in the NFL. It's hard to win 5 games in a row. The Bucs are on a 4-game winning streak. I like it. I'm glad that they're on a 4-game winning streak.
Coming in hot, maybe a little too cocky.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to do. -4 off 8. That means at 4-6. Oh, sorry.
They were 4-6.
Sorry. They were 4-6. I thought they were sitting at first place for that whole stretch. It just says now they're sitting at first place at 8-6. Okay. I wish we were in that division. NFC South. That would be good for us.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more exciting for us at least right now.
I'll do this one, Anth. It's the best one. 2 weeks ago, the Cowboys played the NFL's leading passer in completions, yards, and TD passes in Joseph
Burrow.
McCulkin. Great, Burrow. This week, Baker Mayfield comes to town ranked in the top 4 in all of those categories as well. Mayfield is having a stellar campaign for the Bucs, especially during this 4-game winning streak. Mayfield ranks 3rd in the NFL in passing touchdowns with 32, just 2 behind Burrow and
Lamar Jackson.
behind Burrows with 36 and Jackson with 34.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy that
Gus Swayze
has 32 passing touchdowns. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
He's been slanging, man, and Mike Evans is no one to scoff at. So they're doing it, man. Their offense is no joke. But we did see the Cowboys slow down Joe Burrow a little bit. The Bengals only put up 27 points on the Cowboys.
And it would have been 20 had they not given the ball away.
Gift wrap the ball at the end of the game.
The combination that Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase, he has Chase Brown in the backfield, and then he also has T. Higgins. Right now, we see Bucky Irving and Rashid White in the backfield, and then you got Mike Evans. Who's that other complimentary receiver? I don't know if the Bucs have that.
They don't right now.
So
they have their rookie right now, McClellan, I want to say his name is, who's kind of had an up and down season, but they don't have an established 2 with Chris Godwin out.
Hey, yo.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, dog.
No.
They-
It's Kilo C.
Oh,
Kilo.
Kilo.
Well, we need to get a separate one for Kilo.
Well,
then.
Kilo C says, hey, yo, the same way Nate.
Okay.
He's doing the
Fair
Nate
enough.
stuff.
I like it.
That's fair, and welcome, Kilo. We miss you, brother. The tight end on the Bucs, though.
Otto.
He's
Cade Otto.
The dude
Or
that
Otten?
Cade Otton.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy who drives the bus in Simpsons.
Blotto, about to get Blotto.
Catching some fucking touchdowns.
Otto would be great. He would fit in with CanFan.
Oh yeah.
I was speaking about. I was scrolling whilst pooping, and I saw a video with Burrow, and he was talking about just that. About
that he's living alone.
or he said you see a quarterback like I think he mentioned Allen from the Bills, how he comes from a small school and you have to learn how to win. And Mahomes, he was saying they come from smaller schools, they learn how to win football games, and that's something that some guys who come from these schools that win, because he was
like
talking
LSU. Like where Burrow's from.
And he made a point of that too. And the thing was like, yeah, there were some games that we playing. I'm like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, because he'd be smashing people.
He's like in the middle of the season. He's like, we're just killing these teams.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. Because
that's why it's, sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
That's why this 12 format college football playoff, which is playoffs starting on Thursday, is good, because these teams now to win the national championship,
it's not just
you're gonna have to at least win 3 games.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna against hard opponents.
Yeah.
Yep. And they got it set up. They got it set up well enough where the divisions matter, and I think that you have to have that. But yeah, just that thing on Burrows coming in and saying that, like, so he knows how to win, and they did go down and win that game. You know, any other quarterback may have had a little bit of struggle there, and Burrows too, but he didn't, and they won. So
while Mayfield has been putting up big numbers for the Bucs, the stats aren't completely positive for his team. Mayfield ranks second in the NFL in total fumbles with 12. He's also second in the NFL in interceptions with 14 and has also been sacked 33 times. Yo, boys, this plays very nicely into this top 6th ranked defense, baby.
Yeah, because look, you got to give props to a couple guys who have hit the radar. I'm going to say Lawson. Hit my radar a couple times in the last, say, 4 or 5 weeks. And same with Golston's just been kind of very consistent. A little more quiet but lately, but I do know that he has that potential to jump out there.
What about our guy Odigizua, man?
Odigizua, no doubt, baby.
Most pressures as a defensive tackle. He had the sack fumble last week. Like he's also in a contract here, so the Cowboys probably won't be able to re-sign him, but he's been playing very well too right now. And it's nice to see this. Like, sure, the Bucs have put up a lot of numbers on offense, and Baker Mayfield has all these passing touchdowns and all these other accolades, but he's also going to make a mistake.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, Odigizua, I think he kind of looks like ODB a little bit. Old dirty bastard?
Yeah, I can see from the wide shot there. AJ's trying to bring it up.
But also, Leo Fau had that nice punch fumble. I like that awareness. I like that.
The funniest part is I was talking about punching you out during the live stream right as that happened. Because you said you weren't smoking weed. I was like, oh, I'll just have to give you a left hook to dummy you up a little bit. Give you a little head rush. And then right as we were talking about it, Leo Fau punched the ball out. It was pretty funny.
Well, you know, so let's do it again this weekend.
Yeah, we got to talk. At any point we need to fumble, we just need to talk about beating you up. Give me a left hook.
Adam got mad because he thinks that you took.
No, I was like, am I next?
No,
yeah.
I know it's very hard to remember who read what, but we'll get through it.
Hey, when you're just sitting there and you only have one thing to do but talk, it's easy for you to.
Well, but it's easy. If I've only read one time and Alex has only read one time, then you're next.
I forget though. And sometimes we just skip. So the Bucs have welcomed back Mike Evans, who, despite missing 3 games with an injury, still ranks 4th in the NFL this year with 9 touchdown catches. Evans, the only player in the NFL history to have 10 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons to begin a career. But after exploding for 159 yards last week, Evans has 749 yards with 3 games to play and still has work to do to extend that streak this season.
He's going to hit it. He's going to hit it.
He'll hit it.
You know what? That's funny because I think maybe a week or 2 ago, people were talking about
We were talking about it.
We were like, it might be, yeah.
I don't know if it was on the way to the airport or something, or at the airport, but we were talking about how he had this crazy streak, and we're like, oh, well, this year it's good because of injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's just had these crazy last few games, and now he's right in line. He only needs 251 yards in 3 games. He's more than he could get 150 against the Cowboys this week.
So if he needs about 80 yards or 85 yards per game, basically.
And he'll have it.
Yep.
And I mean, that's very.
I can see him getting 100 yards against the boys.
So yeah, a gunslinger like Baker Mayfield under center.
Oh yeah.
If Baker Mayfield stays healthy, there's been reports, and we haven't got to it yet, but there's reports that he didn't practice it because of his knee. So
one bad thing about Deron Bland is his stature size. He's not a big guy. Mike Evans is huge. So if Baker Mayfield just throws the ball up to Mike Evans in situations, Mike Evans is going to have that just physical advantage against Deron Bland. So I could see him having a big game.
Look, what's nice about this is we're probably going to see some sort of shootout. You look at Mayfield being sacked or fumbling the ball 12 times and throwing 14 interceptions. One of those is going to be a turnover for the Cowboys, or maybe even 2. And the Cowboys have been turning it on and getting that ball loose. And so it's going to be a fun game. It might be a frustrating one, but I think we're going to see a lot of exciting things. And for that reason, yeah, Evans can easily have another 150-yard game.
Totally.
Because I think it's going to be a lot of passing.
Is it my turn or is it your turn?
You're going to read the first Cowboys. I'm going to read this one, okay?
I'm just kidding.
Running back Bucky Irving has similar stats as Rico Dowdle, both getting close to 1,000 yards rushing this season. Irving leads all NFL rookies with 852 rushing yards with 3 games to play and also has 6 rushing touchdowns to lead the team.
He's still on the CanFan big board, crossed out here because we didn't get him on day 3 in round 4 because we traded that pick for a quarterback that's sitting on the bench.
The clipboard quarterback, Trey Lance, $5 million clipboard holder.
Bucky Irving was our 4th pick on that goddamn list there for our day 3 big board. And he's doing it. He's proven in the NFL and everyone else that he can handle it. And that
he would have gone after us. He would have gone after our fourth round pick too.
Yeah, for sure. So the Cowboys could have had him if they didn't trade for Trey Lance.
Bucky Irving in the 4th round.
And he's killing it. He's leading all NFL rookies and they only really started giving him carries. So this is kind of like if he gets 1,000 yards and limited, he's kind of like they said, he's kind of the same as Rico Dowdle. He's only been starting to get utilized within the last 4 games.
Which is nuts.
Well,
it's crazy.
If I would have gone ahead, Anthony, and if I would have drafted Bucky Irving, we would not have seen Rico Dowdle develop to the player that he is today.
Which is true, because I'm a big Rico Dowdle fan.
We all like Rico Dowdle.
No, but
and we're all in for re-signing Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Me too, but I 100% agree.
You don't want to re-sign Rico Dowdle?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. Rico Dowdle will be the starting running back for the Cowboys next year. That doesn't shy me away from signing someone in free agency or drafting
in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Drafting a fucking guy in the 4th round this
Especially
year.
if you get this.
So the Cowboys are probably...
This is Adam.
No,
this
not.
is Ants.
Oh, this is Anthony.
Guys.
I'm fucking up now.
Adam's fucking... Just think of it this way. When you read...
We're counterclockwise.
Yeah.
I got it.
Hang a sec. Who's reading it right now?
Whoever wants to. The Cowboys are probably in the too little, too late mode of their season. Technically, they're still alive in the playoff picture.
Playoffs. We fucking broke this down. Eat me out.
But as far on the outside as you can be, sitting at 6-8, still the performance have been better as the Cowboys have won 3 of their last 4 games, including the 30-14 win over the Panthers last Sunday. All they had to do was beat the Bengals, and they would have been on their own 4-game win streak, and it would have been the battle of the 4-game win streaks. But that didn't happen.
And
Battle of the quads.
I hate to bring it up again, but that game, the Cowboys had won.
Should have.
And then they said, actually, you know what? We want to be, we don't want as high of a draft pick, but we want just a bit of a lower draft pick. So we're going to let you guys take this one, and then we're going to win out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like the lower guys. You know, we don't want the higher guys. The Cowboys have been a rather stellar on the road this year, owning a 4-2 record away from AT&T Stadium. But for the games in Arlington, it's been anything but a home field advantage. The Cowboys will look for their second home win of the season against Tampa Bay. Dallas is 1-6 at home this year with 2 chances to improve that mark, starting with Sunday night's game versus Tampa Bay.
I do like Sunday night football games. I'm already not going to go to work on Monday.
I'm off all week next week, baby.
Yeah,
let's get litty.
I was going to work Monday. The site was going to be open Monday. I'm not going in Monday. Not a chance.
Hey,
we got our
here?
Yeah, I'll sleep here. We got our CFB playoffs before in the morning. Rolling into a Sunday night game. No, I'm not working Monday. Not a chance. And Christmas is on Wednesday. Not happening.
Queso?
Oh yeah, queso dip.
Ooh, don't you even say that.
Don't you want me, baby?
Don't you queso me, babe.
You know what? Actually, sorry. You know, I have like a flat of chili, so we could do chili on Sunday.
Ooh.
Chili would be good
Poppy
too.
likey.
Yeah, chili would be good.
And garlic bread?
We could do some garlic bread.
I'll get the garlic bread.
Okay, bring the garlic bread.
I'm going right.
Yeah.
The running game has seen a huge improvement over the last month, with Rico Dowdle setting a career high in rushing in 3 straight games. He has 112 against the Giants on Thanksgiving, followed by 131. Now you're just you're trying to get words in, okay? 131 against the Bengals and then 149 against the Panthers.
I mean, that is pretty impressive.
It's nice to revisit.
He's broken his career high each week.
3 games
in a row.
Yeah. The most by any Cowboy running back since 2019.
Thanks, Rico.
Dowdle now has 880 rushing yards and is closing in on the chance to become the first.
With only
undrafted.
1 fucking touchdown.
Yeah. And he'll be the first undrafted player in team history with 1,000 rushing yards. He could do this.
Like we said, we're all on the cheering for Rico to get that one.
I want him to get 1,000. After seeing those 3 numbers, there's a high likelihood, as long as the game goes, they call the game the same that they have those past 3 games, that
Fucking
Rico goes and gets 120 plus yards.
He only needs to rush for 40 yards in the next 3 games.
Do you think that he's doing so well because none of us have a Rico Dowdle jersey?
Probably.
Don't even start.
Are you going for a Dowdle jersey?
Not right now.
No.
And not next season.
It's too risky on his last.
If I get a jersey and the player gets injured again, I can't buy a jersey anymore.
I know, man.
That's true.
It's frustrating.
Every week, it seems like a new player has joined a star-studded group on this season-ending injury report. This time, it's Trevon Diggs, who was downgraded to out late last week with a knee injury. As it turned out, Diggs is now needing another surgery on his left knee, the same knee that required ACL surgery last season. Diggs joins players such as Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, DeMarvion Overshown, and potentially DeMarcus Lawrence, who hasn't played since week 4 as high-profile players on IR.
Which nobody...
Well, they left out Deron Bland.
Which nobody's fucking talking about how...
What about Deron Bland? Where's my guy Deron Bland?
But when you hear people talk about the Cowboys season, no one ever brings up how injuries have plagued. And everyone's like, injuries is a thing with the NFL. But if this was happening to any other team, it would be the biggest...
49ers.
Well, the 49ers don't have nearly as many people that it's affecting.
I know. Well, and you probably are correct. I'm just saying I don't know the intricacies of the other teams to know of their big injuries, but I do know 49ers are also going through a rough spell. Maybe not as bad as the Cowboys.
Well, let me tell you this. I was listening to the Locked On podcast, the Buccaneers version on the drive over here, and the guy was complaining about all their injuries.
So everyone's always complaining
about the Buccaneers.
I just think no matter where you go,
fuck the Buccaneers.
I will say though, in the history of the CanFan reign, this has probably been we've had the most prolific injuries.
This is bad. This has
been the worst.
This
season.
is bad.
Even worse than Dak Prescott going down.
The only time I could think that it was close to this was 2015 when Tony Romo and Des Bryant were both out, and I was like, holy fuck, that's 2 huge high-profile players.
Yeah.
These are all high-profile players. They don't even have Deron Bland or Brandon Cooks on the list.
Yeah.
Right? So you had a lot. You have all-pros, multiple all-pros out. So Micah Parsons missed 4 games.
Yeah, they don't have Micah on there.
He didn't go on IR, but he still missed 4 games, right?
Yeah.
So those are completely season-changing injuries.
Absolutely. One of in the game that they missed, I don't know which ones it was, but just a victory in one of those losses.
Now it's a different season.
It's a completely different season.
The San Fran game. Don't you think we could have used Deron? Don't you think we could have used Deron Bland and Micah Parsons and Brandon Cooks in that game?
Yeah. Well, that would have been
with Dak Prescott still playing.
I'm saying the plus minus there is 7 points
for sure. You're hitting something, and then that Nealand wasn't there. They don't have Nealand there. Sam Williams, there's a lot of injuries for the Cowboys. A lot of very high depth pieces and starters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kind of precogged it. One player who missed 4 games at one point this year as well is Micah Parsons.
Micah.
But not only...
But my buddy Youssef already jerked him off 5 times, so...
But he not only returned to action last month, the Cowboys defense has benefited in a major way. Parsons had another multi-sack game last week. We fucking talked about this even. Upping his sack total to 8.5, and since he's returned from injury, the Cowboys lead the NFL in sacks with 24.
Dare I say this season's changed my perspective on Micah a little bit?
No, don't dare it.
Going into this season, I was getting a little sour on Micah.
Yeah, you were.
Agreed.
I was, but I think this stint and a little bit of adversity that he's had to handle with people kind of getting at him about the podcast thing, then his injury this year, then the team
walking off the field,
with the team not being good, but then still producing and still saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna fight and we're gonna play and we're gonna try to win every."
That's a leader that you kind of want to see. And look, the podcast thing is a little bit difficult because I have
own podcast.
I do, yes, and so I don't like that there's competition. No, it's the little bit of the old man, curmudgeoned, old worldly thing in me where it's like, if you're doing something and you want to be the best at it, it's a Michael Jordan type of, I guess, mentality. If you're doing something you want to be the best at it, you should basically every moment of your spare life should be focused on that. And that's how you become the best. I don't know what Micah Parsons' dreams are, but I do think that things have changed to the point where it's like, we don't consume anything the same as we used to 10 years ago. So maybe and I said this before, but it's still something I got to work on. It's like maybe my mind needs to be evolve a little. But the bottom line, Ant, I think that we're getting at is I wouldn't even give a fuck about the podcast. I wouldn't even really know it existed if he was just consistent on the field and didn't have any kind of moments where during the game you're kind of like, or he says something that's like out of pocket, right, for a team. But again, this is the podcast age with these players, and he's not going to stop. I'm not going to ask him to stop.
Stop, but please.
I agree.
Please stop, Michael,
there has been a little bit of a turnaround in like where the winds were pushing me.
My perception's changed with Micah.
Yeah. I'm okay with the podcast now until something else bubbles up, I guess.
Yeah, until you lose to some player and you have them like next playoff loss you have, and then you have the other quarterback on your show.
Well, this goes back to us talking about how Micah disappears in the latter part of the seasons. He hasn't shown up in the big games, and it's possibly with a new defensive coordinator and how he's being utilized, we're seeing a higher production out of Micah Parsons coming through. Like maybe Zimmer is moving him around the field more so than what Dan Quinn was doing. Mm-hmm. We're still seeing Micah get hold multiple times. So I think like in terms of like what he's having to do on the field, he's still having those battles. But yeah, I've never had a problem with his podcast. I mean, he sits in his room and he does it. It's like an hour a week. It's not like it's a massive thing.
Stroking my dick right now.
Yeah, it's either he's J-O-ing or he's fucking doing his podcast. So but it's the same thing. The old man curmudgeon. It's like you want to solidify like your legacy first, like, and then everything. Like look at how Tom Brady has all these other deals coming up after the fact, anyways.
I don't know. There could be some humbleness in it being like, look, I want to be as best as I can be, but I don't know that I'm going to be a legend. I think Micah Parsons could be on the legend trajectory if he
talks that way. I think he firmly believes
how
that.
How old do you guys think Micah is? I know I'm just at
24.
Close.
25.
Okay.
So
I went low because you asked.
Yeah, because
he's almost the same age as my kid.
But 25 is like, he's still got a lot of good football left.
He's not in his prime.
Think of it. D-Law's 32. Last year was 31, still playing unreal.
Yeah.
This is still 6 years. You get 6 seasons you're getting from Micah that he could probably even more.
My last thing I'll say about Micah here is his next 5 seasons, he needs to just gain as many abilities and skills that he can and tricks of the trade, because what will help him prolong his career is as his speed starts to dwindle, he's still going to be agile. He'll still have speed. Like he'll still be, but you're not going to be that 99 speed. You're going to be more of like a 80 or 89 or something, but it won't matter because you've developed skills where it's like, it's not about beating a guy with just pure fucking speed. Now you've got the twists, the turns, the arm blocks, the slaps. My issue with Micah, or my issue with him going into the season, was he had 3 seasons where the Cowboys were 12-5 and in very big postseason games. And I can't think of a single play that he made. He did disappear. I can't think of a single play that he made to help the Cowboys win in one of those postseason games. All he needs to do next year is when they're in the same opportunity, get a sack, force a fumble, just do anything, and you're going to be you're already the Cowboys, one of the Cowboys' best players. Do that in the postseason, and you'll be remembered as one of the greatest in Dallas.
Hey yo,
That's Nate Dogg.
That's the real
Nate
Nate
Dogg.
But I think sorry, I think
go for
Micah's
it.
first 2 seasons were he was just not didn't realize how long an NFL season was, and then once you get to the playoffs, it goes even
Yeah,
longer.
and when you're fighting off 3 guys every single play like that, you're probably getting worn down a lot more than anybody else. Nate Dogg says, survey says learn ball.